Welcome back to bennystake. I'm your girl Benny. We are back on the couch with another video. The glow is consistent. My beauty is consistent. The same way God is good, my beauty is good. Consistently good. Get into it. Okay? We praise God. We praise God for the beauty. We praise God that He renews the beauty daily. Okay, grace gonna be renewed every day. My beauty gonna be renewed every day. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so that you always know when I upload. And somebody commented a little while ago that they really admire my confidence. And I do have to say that's been a journey that I've had to really work through, right? It's been so many things. You know, you grow up in a society where it's kind of like they don't really teach you these things, right? Like as a woman, they want you to not view yourself in a certain light, right? Like seeing and admiring your own beauty is almost like, oh, she's arrogant, she's all of those things. And I do have to say, I politely disagree, which is why, if you haven't been noticing, I've been making it a point that whenever I start this video, we're going to start it with the praise of self, right? We're going to start it with admiration of self. Now, me admiring myself does not take away from your beauty. It does not take away from your grace. It does not take away from your confidence. It literally doesn't take anything away from you, right? Me saying I'm beautiful does not mean I am the only one that's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? But when we're counting beauty, okay, I count myself a couple times. Okay, I count myself a couple times. And I think you should as well. I really think you should as well. I feel like we live in a society where it's like you have capitalism that wants to take advantage of women, which is partly, you know, the video that we're going to be talking about today, right? The byproduct of capitalism has made it so that we create insecurities within women, and then we come and we give them a product that is supposed to fix the said insecurity. Meanwhile, half the time it don't even be nothing wrong. It just be the differences of our beauty. It just be the differences of the way we were created and the way we were meant to show up in the world, right? You have featureism, you have texturism, you have, you know, what should I call it, colorisms. You have all these different things. And in a certain way, it's being taken as a bad thing, right? Like having a big nose. People started finding a problem with that. Now they're going to do, you know, I don't know what step of the makeup routine it is where they, you know, they give the illusion of having like a pointier nose. Is a pointier nose ugly? No. But is a big nose ugly? Also no. You just have a bigger nose, okay? When God was creating the people of God, He done expanded your territory a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like you have the ability to smell the nonsense that be coming around from the people of God much more easily than the average person. That's all that is. Beautiful in and of itself, right? But we will create this idea that, you know, within featureism, that this is a problem and there's a way for you to fix it. Here's a product. Then you got to go ahead and spend 11,500 times in the mirror, blending some things to give the illusion of a tiny nose. Or if you have money, just go ahead and switch your nose to look like Cindy from Mississippi. And by the time you fix your nose, you got to go ahead and tweak the lips. By the time you tweak the lips, you got to go ahead and tweak the eye. By the time you tweak the eye, now the shape of your face don't even make no doggone sense. You look like a nightmare. Okay, you look like a visual representation of a nightmare. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like for me, the journey to realizing my beauty and walking in that confidence of my beauty really just started from me realizing like there's literally nothing wrong with the way that I look. I may just look differently from you. You were beautiful in your own right. I'm beautiful in my own right. And when we count beauty, I count myself a couple times. If you ask me who's the most beautiful person I know, the answer is me. And if I ask you who you think the most beautiful woman is in the world, you better count yourself. Okay, and everybody should answer as themselves. Does that mean, Beyonce is not beautiful? Does that mean Rihanna? Does that mean, Lupita? Does that mean, Jackie and them? Does that mean all these other people are not beautiful? No, it doesn't mean that. But when we're speaking of beauty, the starting point should always be you. If somebody asks you, when you look in the mirror, the starting point of beauty should always be you. Because from me and my household, I am the starting point of beauty. I am. In my body that I exist in, thank God, I am the starting line of beauty. It doesn't take away from yours. It doesn't take away from the other girl. It's just me, and that's just what it is. And it took a second to get here, but once that switch kind of like clicked in my brain, I was like, oh. Once you realize that it's a scheme that Todd set up to hit your line with some nonsense, okay, and make you feel inferior and make you feel like you're less than, once you realize that, you then have the ability to really change that. You then have the ability to rewire your brain, okay, and do the work that is necessary to walk into the beauty that already exists within you. And it doesn't mean you cannot admire other people's beauty. It doesn't mean you cannot admire other people's techniques. But when we're talking about beauty, the starting line should always be you. You should always be the starting line of beauty in your own eyes. Because how can you love what Cindy got going on and you don't exist in Cindy's body? You don't know what it's like to be Cindy. And the body that you get to exist in, and you looking at it like, no. When it comes to beauty, the starting line should always be you. The standard should always be you. I am the standard of beauty. In my house, in my life, in my world, in my viewpoint, in my body, in the way that I exist, I am the standard of beauty. You may or may not be attracted to me. That's cool. But it doesn't change that I am beautiful. It doesn't change that in my own right, I am beautiful. We're not talking about what society is going to deem as, the most beautiful. They can decide what they want to decide. And as for me and my household, when we're talking about beauty, the starting point is me. It is me. So every time we're going to start this video, every time we're going to start the content and the things, we're going to take a second to admire my beauty. And I hope that when I'm admiring my own, I hope you take a glance at a mirror at your phone and be like, dang, I got it. Dang, I'm that girl. That's what I hope this becomes. It's not just a way to admire myself, because I'm easy to admire. Let's keep it a buck. But, it's also a way to encourage young people, to encourage women that you gotta take back that power. You really have to. This world will come over here and stress you out for no reason. You have to take that power. Which brings me to the topic of this video today. I have seen a couple of videos that is being marketed as, self-care and that femininity and, taking care of yourself as a woman and presenting one way. I've seen a couple of videos along those lines that I want to ask you this question. Do you sometimes feel like the concept of, self-care can sometimes take a route towards self-hatred that is just being masked as self-care, right? I'll give you an example. One of the videos that I saw is, about this lady, talking about some of their, self-care routine. And I'm not going to play it because, again, it is their body. I don't want to use somebody's image as an example, for my video. But I'm sure if you're online, you've seen, even the conversations around, just like dark spots between your thigh, and sometimes like even dark spots between like your underarms. And I saw a video and I was just kind of like, first of all, if there's anything in your body that you're like, I feel a little insecure about, like Feel free to do whatever you want to do about it, so long as you're being safe, so long as you're not promoting, self-harm, so long as you're not putting yourself in danger or anything like that, right? I have never been the kind of girl to tell any woman what they ought to do or not do with their bodies. I've never been that girl, and I'm not gonna start now, right? But I saw this video, and it just kind of like spoke about the routine that it takes to get rid of like the dark spots, especially the inner thigh, dark spots, right? Now, I don't think that this creator was necessarily doing anything that was harmful. They were using like this, I think it's called like kojic acid, like this little soap or something. And like the routine was like you do it and like you sit with it. And they're talking about like, how sometimes it may sting a little bit or whatever the case is. If you have the tolerance for those things, definitely go for it. I have tried, in the past when I noticed that, oh, wait a minute, like, my underarms were getting a little dark or whatever the case is. I've tried buying the product. I never actually carried on, with doing it because at a certain point, it started feeling a little ridiculous to me. Right? Comment down below and let me know. Again, this is not to shame any creator. Whenever I've seen those videos and, somebody shows their before and after, I'm always like, oh, I like how they did the video, whatever the case is. If I have to show love, I will show love. I'll engage with the video, whatever the case is. But for me, it started feeling a little bit like, dang, like it's certain things that will happen to our bodies, especially as women, that are just like natural phenomenon that don't necessarily have to be fixed, right? A little discoloration, in your inner thigh, to me is a sign that you're able to move. Maybe you've walked like a couple of times and things just kind of like looked a little differently over there. If you want to change it, like I said, cool. But in and of itself, like when you think about it, the discoloration really, it's not causing you any harm. It's not causing you any hurt. It's not like, at least physically, right? Like it may make you feel less confident, which I get, like, people wanting to tweak certain things to just feel a bit more confident and comfortable in their bodies. I have no problem with that. But in and of itself, a little discoloration between your thigh is very much normal. It's a normal phenomenon that a lot of Black women experience. It's normal. But somehow we've found a problem with that now, you're going to add 75 different steps to your routine just to get rid of something that is actually natural. And the reason why this triggered this conversation for me is I saw this creator, she's a Black woman, very much thick, and I love just like how flexible she was. She was showing us like the move that she was doing. I think she was trying to do like a split or something like that. She was stretching, doing the things, right? And the video got so many views, thousands and thousands of comments. And the whole time, people were not even talking about the skills that she has, right? To be able to be flexible, and move your body like that. It's just like, it's always going to be tea for me, right? But nobody was really talking about that. Everybody was praising her for how courageous and confident she was to show up with her inner thigh being a little darker than, the rest of her body. And I'm just kind of like, the average woman, their inner thigh looks like that. I know mine does look like that. But in a world where everything has become an issue, where every other Tuesday somebody is fixing the inner thigh and they're putting all these different products on their bodies to fix a problem that's not actually a problem, people were looking at her like she's, the oddball out, and she's so courageous and she's so brave for literally just showing up in a world naturally, with her body showing up as natural bodies tend to look when left alone, right? Like when you don't do too much to try to like mimic certain things, your natural body will just look like that. As a woman, You're gonna have stretch marks. You're gonna have cellulites. As you age, you're gonna have cellulites. All these things are gonna happen. My underarms, they're not white, right? But like now the expectation is that you guys to be walking out here with underarms that look like the White House. Just why? It's supposed to be clear, it's supposed to match your skin, it's supposed to do all the things. And again, if that's something that you desire for whatever the reason, of course it's your body. Do whatever you want to do. But sometimes it's becoming to feel like we are finding problems with things that are so natural. And because of capitalism, we are convincing ourselves certain things are problems that we then have to spend money and time fixing whole time. These are just like normal phenomenon that happens. And that your legs are beautiful and they can be shown with the dark spots in the middle, and nothing wrong with that. But people were praising her for how confident and how, brave she is. And I'm like, she literally just showed up as herself. But somehow that is seen as bravery. That is seen as like, confidence that's unheard of. Which again, I'm not saying people shouldn't praise her for showing up like that. Because again, we live in a society where like every single thing, especially as women, is a problem. The length of your hair is a problem. If you're a Black girl and you have like a little bit of a itty bitty afro, that's a problem. If you have like, 4C hair, coily hair that you want to bend into submission so that it could have all these curls, and it's like your hair refuses to do what you want it to do, that's a problem. And all of these things, they're being disguised low-key as like, self-care. Take care of yourself. Brighten your inner thigh. Take care of yourself. Brighten your underarm. Take care of yourself. And it's like, okay, are we just using the term self-care very loosely, or like what's going on? Because it is normal. It really is normal for your underarms to be black. It's normal. It's normal. Now, could there be medical reasons before somebody comes like, well, me, I have like, no. Could there be medical reasons? Could there be, certain issues that may actually arise? All of those things are obviously beyond my level of knowledge. I'm not no medical doctor. I ain't no dermatologist. I am nothing but a girl observing the world that we live in, the overconsumption world that we live in, where everything is a problem that has to be fixed, especially for women. And we're disguising that as self-care. Loki is beginning to feel like self-hatred. It's beginning to feel like lack of self-acceptance. That's Loki how it's beginning to lend, to me at least, certain things. Right? I saw this girl who, was trying to trim the hairs inside of her nose. And I'm like, the hair inside of your nose is a problem now? Why? Why is the hair inside of your nose a problem? Why is that a problem that you have to fix? They literally serve a purpose. It's there for a reason. It's literally there for a reason. Now, could you have abnormal amount of hair? For sure, because again, people are not inferring anymore. You got to give 75 different disclaimers for the people of God. I'm not saying that it could not be an issue in some, one scenario in 100 different cases. But at the baseline, the hair in your nose is actually not a problem. But we got trimmers, we got people, trimming their noses and doing the things. And it's like, why? Why? The hairs in your nose, they're normal. Which is why they keep growing back. They're normal. But we've created that as a problem. We've turned that into a problem that now has to be fixed. You kind of see what I'm saying? Like the concept of, self-care and tending to our bodies as women is low-key. Is low-key in some cases, not all, right? Like in some cases, not all. I have, updated my routine as far as like, making sure that I have, that consistent glow and to treat like, my dry skin, right? It came from the beauty girl is being like, dang, like your shower routine, try this, try this, try this. I've been trying adding, oil on my body once my body's like damp. And that has made a huge difference with how, dry my skin has been feeling. Like I told you, I have dry skin, right? I have dry skin so much so that sometimes I'll moisturize and I'll look moisturized. But if you look at my, my skin, it'll still look cracked. It'll still look like, I should have been auditioning for Anaconda the movie. Like it just looks like a snake, right? The little cracks, the little geographical map cracks. Like it'll still look like that, shiny, but it'll still look like that, right? And I've been trying to figure like what can I do that is affordable that I can do consistently. And according to like the girlies, the beauty girlies, they was like, yo, when you do like your wash, like you wash with soap, something like Dial or whatever the case is, and then you use like your body, body extra body wash that may have like a scent to it if you want to, but that's gonna bring like that little hydration to the body. And if you want to add an extra step, try like exfoliate maybe like twice or three times a week now. But after I finish showering, while my body is still damp, going in with the oil immediately and then doing a lotion to lock all that in. And I've been doing this for maybe 2 weeks and I'm already noticing a difference, right? So again, there are actual issues that exist that we need to take care of. For me, was like the dry skin, right? I have dry skin all over my body. My friends always joke that, I stay ashy, but whenever I wash my hands, like I have dry skin. Dry skin, it don't look right, it don't feel right, and eventually it'll crack, then it'll hurt me. So that's an actual issue that I'm like, okay, let me take it seriously. Let me try something to help it out. That being a conversation that we're having and we're sharing tools on versus telling the girlies to now trim the nose in their hair. One is just like us finding problems where there are none. Your inner thigh, it's okay for them to be a little dark. It's normal. Again, if you want to change it, do whatever you want to do, but just know it's normal. It's not an issue that needs to be fixed. And I'm making this video to encourage young girlies to really fall in love with their bodies and fall in love with who they are, and young women to really embrace the naturalness of their bodies and of their existence, right? To help, with even how we're talking, the whole confident thing. It's hard to be confident when you view everything about you as being a problem to be fixed. When you look at your body, you look at your nose, or the nose should be this way, the forehead should be this way, the lips should be this way, the shape should be this way. Now the inner thigh got to be light. Now the underarms, they got to be light. Now the nose got to be trimmed. The face has to be shaved. All of these different things, it's like when you consistently look at your body as a problem to be fixed, it makes it a lot harder to actually fall in love with the said body and to actually be comfortable and confident in the said body. And I think that partly has to do with us, masking certain practices as self-care, when in reality, it actually just is promoting self-hatred, overconsumption, and just giving into the idea that women are problems to be fixed consistently. Another thing for me, like I'm getting into skincare, right? Like taking care of myself, making sure that I'm using products that aligns with me. And I even have like a skincare video that I did a little while ago. But even in that avenue, in that area, right? Recognizing that the reality really is that sometimes a little goes a long way. Sometimes a little really goes a long way. And it may be an unpopular opinion, I'm not saying some of your faves are like trying to lie to you or whatever the case is, but like I really want us to process certain things that we're seeing and think about it before we try to, stress ourselves with certain things, right? Your skin can take but so much, right? Like I was talking about this in the past, but like you are not a lab rat to really be experimenting with your face and your skin in that manner. And by that I mean, I saw a video one time, and this creator, they literally went through 14 different products on their face in one sitting. And it's like half of them were supposed to treat different things. And I'm like, the layer of your skin is but so much. And you're putting all these different products, and it's not even targeted, right? Like you have, when you put, say, I don't know, say you put a toner, you put a toner everywhere. Then you want to do like some kind of acid, you put the acid everywhere. Then you want to add, some kind of serum, you put it everywhere. Then you want to add some kind of, toner that's supposed to tone the toning that happened before, but then you want to do another toner. You're putting it on that same skin. And then you want to add your lotion. Then you gotta do the face oil with it. Then by the time you're done, you also gotta put the SPF. And then you gotta add another thing. Before you know it, if this is like the layer of your skin, you done put 75 different products. And it's like, do we even know how each of the ingredients within some of these products are able to interact with each other? We don't have the time, right? Many of us, we're not chemists. Like we did not study chemistry. We did not study how these things can actually work together. But it's just like, it's self-care. Is it? Is it? Could it be causing more harm than good? Could it be actually not fixing the issues that we're fixing and making us reliant on using the said products just to maintain? 14 different products, half the time working on different things, simultaneously put on your face. Is it really, or is that just like another scheme to convince us that more gonna make us better, more gonna help us attain this, imaginary perception of what perfect skin can look like? Mind you, we have different problems. I told you mine is dryness, so like I need hydration with my, with my skincare routine. Everything I do is hydration related, and half the time that will leave me at 3 to 4 steps. If you want to do certain things just because they make you feel cute, they make you feel nice, for sure. We're girls. We're just girls. We want to have fun. We want to take care of ourselves. But sometimes I want us to be mindful, right? I want us to be mindful that in an attempt to, promote self-care, that we're actually not, causing more damage to ourselves, and also not, promoting a certain level of like self-hatred to some degree, right? It's certain things that are just normal. It's certain things that are just normal. Another thing to me that just always feels like, okay, whenever I see, people make videos or content that's talking about how like, I need me a product that's gonna, last me like 24 hours like on my face. And I'm just kind of like, I don't want nothing that's gonna last that long. I'm sorry. Like I seen this one deodorant. They were talking about how, the deodorant gonna last you up to 48 hours. Why is that a theory you want to test out? Within that 48 hours, you should have showered at least 3 times. Okay? Scrub your underarms real good and get those products up out of you. Why do you need a product that's going to stay with you for 48 hours, First of all, part of me thinks that's a scam altogether, right? But like, why is that necessary? What problem are we trying to solve with that? The solution is go take a shower, take a bath. Go take a bath. You don't need to invest in a 48-hour deodorant. Within that 48 hours, you should have showered at minimum 3 times. Go take a shower. That's all that is. Go take a bath. I want my makeup that's going to last me 24 hours. Why? Within 24 hours, you should have at least gotten 8 hours of sleep. And ain't no need for you to need to sleep with your makeup on. Things that are not problems that we've led society, this overconsumption of a society, convince us that these things are actually problems. And now we then have to invest money to solve problems that are actually not problems. Your makeup should not be able to stay on your face for 24 hours. Because within that 24 hours, 8 of them you're supposed to be sleeping. The other 2 or 3, maybe you're supposed to be getting ready. Why does your makeup need to last you 24 hours? If after 6 hours, things are looking a little bit more shiny, get your little powder puff it up. Because again, what would it take? What would it take for them to put in that product for it to last you 24 hours? Whatever it is, do we know that it is actually safe? Do we? Like, do we? You know? And again, these things are cute. I'm a girl. I've been getting more into my makeup. Yeah, see my little. You know, like when I was in Nigeria, I remember I had to get this setting spray. It's a really popular setting spray. I'm gonna leave it somewhere over here. It's a really popular setting spray that helps your makeup last a little longer. Now in Nigeria, it's very hot. Okay, as soon as you walk outside, everything was gonna melt. So the formula of this setting spray says it's gonna help keep things in place. But even with using that, after like 4 hours, I could still see the oil. I could still see the things that would naturally happen, things that are naturally supposed to happen. And I have my little powder puff, pat it around, and keep it pushing. Needing a product to stay on your face and on your skin for 24, 48 hours is not really an issue we're supposed to be fixing. Like, and anybody sitting over here trying to convince us that they can come up with a solution to a non-problem, to a thing that should not be a problem to any of us, really is just a way of them trying to just capitalize on insecurities that society has put on women. Transfer-proof makeup. Why? Makeup, naturally, it's supposed to transfer. Am I bugging? Like, it's supposed to transfer, no? Like, it's supposed to transfer. Could you limit how much it transfers? Sure, be cute, be very mindful, like, very dainty when you're talking to people, when you're meeting people. But the reality is, makeup gonna transfer because it's on your skin. Like, I don't think I want makeup to be absorbed inside of my skin. I don't think I want that. I may want my, my lotion to maybe like, get in there and do a 1, 2, 1, 3. But like, do I want foundation and like all these things to absorb inside of my skin and not be able to exit? No, I don't want that. At least for me, I don't want that. Doesn't seem like it makes sense. Again, non-issues that in the name of, self-care, in the name of beauty, in the name of maintenance, we've created, issues where there are none, just to, in a sense, I feel like it's just a way to, one, bamboozle women, and also just like dig more at insecurities that we've placed on women already as is. Everything about a woman's body is a problem. Your size is a problem. The shape of your face is a problem. Your skin complexion half the time is a problem. Your hair is a problem. Don't be black and dark skin and all of the things. Everything is a problem. That then they tell you this is how you're supposed to fix it, by just doing this, by just adding this. Comment down below, let me know if I'm making sense or if I'm just coming across as a hater. But like all things in moderation, all things, all things within reason. Am I saying don't wear makeup? Evidently not. Look at me. Look at me. Am I saying don't do skincare? No. But certain things have to make sense. Like, let's not, give ourselves more reason to be insecure. Let's not give into, too much into this overconsumption war, especially with social media. Every other Tuesday is a problem that somebody's fixing. I saw the last time, whatchamacallit, the skin tags on the faces. Apparently, there's a product to remove them. There are some people who have it on the extreme. Like, I know this lady who, when she got pregnant, it was like every which way. But even with that, it went away, just like naturally went away. But like, a skin tag or two, at least in my opinion, that's not a problem. I have a couple on my face. It's just that's just how I was born. That's just how I was created. I have a couple skin tags. It's not a problem that has to be fixed. Could there be a scenario where like it's overwhelming and it's too much? For sure. I always have to put that disclaimer. Could there be a scenario where that's the case? Yes. But as an overall, not really. They don't hurt. It's just like a couple tags on your face. Just like maybe people may have freckles, right? Which, remember, people used to make fun of people with freckles. Now then it became like, okay, freckles are cool. Now you have people drawing fake freckles on their faces and everybody wanted freckles. Non-issues that we are trying to fix. Half the time, it be non-issues that we are trying to fix in the name of self-care. And I just feel like that can be dangerous. That's it. That's all. Alrighty, y'all, that's it on me. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you always know when I upload. Your girl is on a journey to reach 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm doing my best, being consistent, making our videos and all of the things. So support, do the things, comment on my videos, watch my videos till the end whenever you can. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. And remember, you are that girl, okay? You are that girl. And when we're talking about beauty, baby, count yourself a couple times. Look at yourself and be like, dang. Dang. This is what the people of God are seeing. You know what I'm saying? Alrighty, I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Bye, Z's.